Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to 31 progressive rock stocking stuffers for 1971. Got to correct there today. This is day 4 of 31 days. We're going to give you 31 albums from 1971 as, you know, 50 years. We're celebrating 50 years, 50th anniversary, 50th birthdays of these albums that were released originally in 1971. We're doing all prog rock this month. So as we wait to move into January, we're going to do my favorite albums that turned 50 in 2022. We're going to look at all music from 1972. But for here, as a kind of precursor to that, we're going to give some love to prog rock this month, and I'm going to pick my 31 favorite albums from prog rock albums from 1971. So this one here, this band, you know, kind of sits on the periphery of prog. Most folks probably think of these guys as more of a heavy rock band, and that would be true. Although, you know, some of their early albums kind of, you know, float the line a little bit, and specifically this one. This is their second album, released February 12th, 1971. If you were in the UK, it was released on Vertigo. If you were here in the US, it was released on Mercury and Bronze or Island for most of the rest of the world. I'm talking about Salisbury from Uriah Heep. Of course, if you were here in the US, the album cover we got had that kind of crazy looking monster creature type of thing, which I think is kind of cool, but this just seems more like, you know, this is what it should be, right? And, you know, we also had 2 versions of this. So the track list was slightly different, the UK release compared to the US release. In the UK, well, before we go there, let's talk about the band lineup. So we've got, again, this is their second album. This is not quite the classic lineup of the band yet. We've got David Byron on lead vocals, okay? Ken Hensley on keyboards, slide and acoustic guitars, and lead vocals on a couple tracks. You've got Mick Box on lead and acoustic guitars. Backing vocals, Paul Newton on bass and backing vocals, and Keith Baker on drums. And then you've got John Fitty on brass and woodwind arrangements, right? Because we've got like a little orchestral stuff on the title track, right? So as far as the track listing, so for the UK release, which this CD reissue basically replicates, you've got Bird of Prey starts things off, and that's a ferocious heavy rocker, okay? And quite a good one, I might add. Why that was left off the US release, I'll never know, in favor of Simon the Bullet Freak, which not a particularly good track in my opinion. Bird of Prey is awesome. Then you got The Park. Park is another hard driving number. Lots of Hammond organ, lots of guitar. Great song. Time to Live, another really excellent track. Again, you're hitting it pretty hard there, the first 3 tracks, right? But you know, the band injecting some mood and lots of melodies and vocal harmonies in these songs, really good. Lady in Black, okay. If you go to see Uriah Heep live, that's what you do during that song. Everybody sings, everybody participates, whether you can sing or not. I absolutely cannot. But you get the hands in the air and you sing along with the band. It's just, and it's Ken Hensley singing on this particular track. It's just basically like a great little acoustic guitar piece. Wonderful song. One of their greatest compositions, one of Ken's greatest compositions, I should say. He's the sole writer on that. Then you got High Priestess, another good rampaging, driving heavy rock song, also written by Hensley, and that's a shorter piece. And then, of course, you've got the massive 16-plus minute title track, Salisbury, which is the big, amazing prog rock number on this album. And it's got all the things you want. It's complex. It's got all these shifting movements and whatnot. It's got an amazing extended wah-wah guitar solo from Mick Box. It's got great keyboards. It's got the horns, the brass. It's an amazing song. An absolutely amazing song. And, you know, one of their highlights from the early part of their career, but it's different, right? This is definitely long-form progressive rock at its best. And, you know, mixed in with all these other, you know, kind of heavy rockers and the more acoustic-based numbers, this is a really strong album. Really strong album. And like I said, if you had the US version, you instead of Bird of Prey, you get Simon the Bullet Freak, which is inserted on side 2 of the LP right before the title track. Simon the Bullet Freak, kind of a throwaway track for me. You get the then you get Here I Am, which on the reissue, on the CD reissue, is another bonus track from that particular time period. But yeah, so many great songs. I mean, The Park and Time to Live are both amazing songs. Amazing songs. I love the way that this band was able to blend like kind of moody, atmospheric stuff with prog and heavy rock. You got the thundering organ and guitars and throbbing bass and those great vocals from Byron and Hensley and the whole rest of the band, because they all took part in the backing vocals throughout their career, which was really great. Just gave them a really unique sound. And this is a great album. It's funny, Salisbury, I think, for many reasons, is almost like the overlooked album in their catalog. A lot of people cite that first album, very heavy, very humble, as one of their great albums, and it absolutely is, because it made such an impact. It's heavy and for the time, right, for 1970. And this album, really great album from them too. But then you've got albums like Look at Yourself and The Magician's Birthday and Demons and Wizards, and those three albums right there, that's like the holy trinity of the early Heap catalog. So you have this one that kind of sits in, sits around all those, that I think doesn't really get the credit, but it's quite a strong one. This is a classic from Heap from this era. So if you haven't heard Salisbury, you absolutely should. Is it kind of I mean, this is going to be like the one, maybe two releases that I'm going to talk about this month that's kind of questionable. I know a lot of people who consider and always have considered Heap a prog rock band. I know a lot of people who always consider them a heavy rock band and don't think them prog at all. But I think if you're going to include any of their albums in that discussion of is it prog or not, this is probably the one. Even though the bulk of this album is pretty hard rocking, Salisbury is definitely a prog song, and it's seen as it takes up 16 plus minutes. That's a good chunk of the album right there. So we're going to include it. So there you have it. Salisbury by Uriah Heep, day number 4. Thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Got more of these coming up each and every day in December, so stay tuned. You're going to get a mix of some stuff you've probably heard before, and probably some stuff that you're not all that familiar with. So we've already had a couple this week that I think a good chunk of you in the comments had not listened to before. So that's a good thing. Because it's always good to discover new music that's new to you. We're talking about old music here, but if it's new to you, that's a good thing, right? So, so stay tuned and see what we got cooking. So I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Visit us on the web. I think we already did that. Yes, please subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that notification bell. We've got the link to our Ko-Fi page below for channel donations, as well as the link to our merch page and the link to seaoftranquility.org, celebrating 20 years on the internet this year. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow morning with more of this. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.